Welcome to this spotlight video on running GL financial reports in Process Scheduler for Sage 300.
Thanks, Natalie. First, we'll have a look at the GL Financial Report Runner. Using the GL Financial Report Runner, you are able to configure different report groups for the different stakeholders. For example, you might have a group for a CFO, which includes all the KPI reports for all divisions. And you might have divisional report groups for the different department managers. The Financial Report Runner can run and save and email multiple GL financial reports in one go. And it creates, if you are emailing, it creates a single email with multiple workbooks attached. You can also have multiple sheets in a workbook with FR specs on each sheet. And then Financial Report Runner will run each of the individual sheets and bundle them together in a single workbook, and then email the single workbook if that's what you need. And when you're running a report through the Financial Report Runner, you specify the fiscal year and period when you click Run. All the other parameters, the way you run that report, are saved when you attach the report to the desktop. But if you use Process Scheduler on top of the Financial Report Runner, you can schedule now, or you could schedule at 1 a.m. every Monday morning. And it is able to run a financial report group. And you specify the email parameters that you want to run if you want to email the report. And when you run, you can either run all the reports in a group in one company or across multiple companies. And you've always been able to configure the financial reports when they're run to run for the current period, the previous period, or the next fiscal period based on the date the schedule runs. And you can do the same with the financial year. So current financial year, previous financial year, or next financial year. But what we've added now is the ability to run for a specific fiscal year and period. So let's go and have a look at Financial Report Runner and the Process Scheduler action to run a financial report group. You configure your financial reports in Information Manager Analytical Reports in the Financial Report Runner option. Here you are able to create menus of the reports that you want to run. So right-hand mouse button, you can add a group. And in my case, I've got a group for my Department 100 and Department 200 reports, and I've got some saved runs. And then within a group, you can right-hand mouse button and add a report. So let's go and edit one of these reports. So this report, when I add it to the desktop, I'm browsing to find a standard GL report. So this is an FR report that you have created previously for GL. And you can give it a friendly name, and then you fill in the parameters, how you normally run this particular report. So in my case, the segment division is limited from 100 to 200. And then you go ahead and attach all the reports. So for my Department 100 group, I am running 4 reports, and I could go ahead and select all of them and go ahead and print and run them. So it's going to run these 4 reports in that order, and we're going to pass in the fiscal year and the fiscal period that you want. So at the time of clicking print, you say which fiscal year and which fiscal period do you want. So by selecting a saved run, you can predetermine the path where these files are to go, the naming convention you want for the files, and if you are wanting to email, it can pre-save who your email list is. So you can have multiple email addresses separated by a semicolon. And at the time of running, it's going to run these 3 reports in that order, save it in this directory using the original file name and adding year, month, day, _ Department 100 to the reports, and email it to Anne, and this is the fiscal year and period that it's running for. So if I want to run right now for April, so that's the fourth period of 2026, I'd go ahead and print. And you can see Financial Report Runner kicks off in the background, runs the reports, saves them in the folder which I nominated, and will bundle them up and email them. So I'm just going to speed it up because I've got 3 reports there. And the email's been sent. The files have been saved in the appropriate directory. So although not strictly speaking scheduled, they are run one after the other, so you don't have to open each one and run each report individually. And if we were to use Process Scheduler, and I'll just find my schedule for running financial reports. And let's look at the detail of the first row. You can see we are able to run a financial report group. And this is a level 3 Process Scheduler action. And if you choose Run Financial Report Group, you can select which company you want to run it in, which financial report group that you want. So that is the headings that are added, right-hand mouse button, add a group. So we're running the reports that are grouped together under the heading Department 100. And we are able to choose whether we want to use the current year, next year, or previous fiscal year. And that's what's always been available, but now we are able to choose individual years as well. So I'll leave this one as current year, previous fiscal period. So it's April, so this will run for March 2026. And this is the subject of the email, who's going to receive the email, and the directory where we want these to be stored. What to do next. So the next step is step 2, where we're running a financial report group, but this time an ORCING 2. So you're able to not only run reports grouped by heading in the current company, and you can run multiple of those, you are able to run those as well across multiple companies. But in this case, I'm going to run for January 2026. So I'm going to go ahead and just run that now. And I'll talk through the log once it's finished. So you can see it first connects to Orc Limited, and then using 2026 period 3, it runs the first report, saves it, runs the second report, saves it, runs the third report, saves it, and then attaches the reports to the email and sends the email, and then connects to ORCING 2 to pick up the next financial report group, runs the first report, saves it, second report, saves it, third report, saves it, and then emails that. And the last status is updated on the schedule. In the audit log, we have a history of all the times the reports have run and any issues that may have happened. For example, we had some problems with the email password. And at any you can see the success or failure of any of the tasks that have run, which is a great auditing tool. And so if we look at the folder where they were being created, for ORCING 2 in FR monthly, the 2026 reports are being created. the 2026 Period 1 reports have been created. And for Orc Limited, we've got the March 2026 reports being created. And 2 emails have been sent, one for the Orc Inc. 2 reports and one for the Orc Limited reports. And if you do want to run these reports on a schedule, as opposed to clicking now on the Process Scheduler schedule, you can use the Windows Task Scheduler and set up a task. So having a look at what you need to do, you would say that your task runs whether the user's logged in or not, and you would use a server, so you don't need to leave a workstation open and running in order for these reports to run. The trigger is when is it going to do it. So I've set mine to run weekly at 1 a.m. every Monday, but you can have multiple schedules. It could be monthly, daily, weekly, hourly. And the action is where you go ahead and tell it to run the OZ Process Scheduler EXE, and the parameter is the schedule name that we were looking at. And that's all you need to do. And now this would run every Monday at 1 a.m. And that's the link, the schedule name. And the setup that you need in both Information Manager, Report Runner, and in Process Scheduler is in the setup for Report Runner. The critical piece of setup that you need to do is to specify what is the directory that you're going to save those saved reports in. You also need to configure the email. So I had to configure the email in Information Manager for Orc Ltd as well as for Orc Inc. 2, because it is Report Runner or Information Manager that's sending the report. And then you need to attach the reports that you want on the Financial Report Runner menu. And that's all you need for Report Runner. But for Process Scheduler, in the options, you need to say which is the company that the schedules will be stored in my case, Orc Ltd, and the emails that are to be sent coming from Process Scheduler. And then you also need to specify for each of the companies where you're going to run a schedule. So for our case, Orc Inc. 2, where we're going to run some financial reports, as well as Orc Ltd, where we're going to run some financial reports, you need to fill in the user ID and password for Process Scheduler to use. And then, of course, you need to have your schedule.